Hi everybody, over next few minutes I will quickly show you how to save data into a database from an web page. So I am using Django and Python code to save this data from this form into database. So this is a Django framework. If you are not familiar with Django framework, you possibly need to get familiar with that before you understand this, how this is going to help. So what I am doing is, you see a very simple form. I have only two field here. Is one is date, one is cost, and the submit button. Now, to create this form in Django, you need to create a Django template. And here I am showing you the code for the Django template, and this is the Django template. I gave the name as a cost, and in the form. It's a form in this template. The form has that action as it's a post method we are using, and it's calling an URL called cost. So I'm assuming that you're familiar with Django and you know how to create the Django URL. It's very simple. I can quickly show you that URL that I have created here. Actually, this is the URL, and the view name that this URL is calling is cost view. So we'll come back to the view. Before that, as I was saying, this in this template we have date field and cost field. I have defaulted or pre-populated this date field with a system date, which is now, and the format is year, month, date, day. And I also defaulted or pre-populated the cost field with 0, the value of 0, and this is the submit button. That's all. This is the simple template that has a form, and that has two field in the date and cost, and the button called submit, which you see it here. So that's about the form. Now what else do you need before you can save this data into a database? So you need a model, which is the basic thing in Django, that before you can create a table in a database you need this model. And this model has only two field that called date and cost, and this is the code to create that in model in the model.py. So now you have model, and you know how to sync this model into database. You have to run that code called syncdb with manage.py, and I'm assuming you know the basic Django framework, and you can do that. So once you have that sync in the database, then you need to create a form, and that form is very simple. Like I gave a name or cost form. Then it has two fields also, date and cost. And once you have that model and that is synced with database, and then you have the form, and you are ready to go to the views. And this is the code, this is the main core of the Django, that in the view you see that I imported the cost form that I showed you in the form.py. Then I imported the cost from model. I showed you in the model.py, and that this is what I am importing. So once we import those two, then write this code, and we are using that post method. So we are saying request method is equal to post, and then we are calling that form, and this is this is how we bound a form in the view. So the form is equal to async cost form. That is the form that we created. Now we are getting the data. Here is how we are getting data from that template. When user will put the date and cost here, date, and say you putting cost, say 500. Once you have that date and cost 500, so that would be we can get those date here, request.post.getDate, and I uses the method post.get to make sure that my form doesn't give error when I run it, because what I am basically saying is, if no date is found in the form, then you put empty, so it's blank, so it will not give me any error. So that's what I put post.get. So then for cost also same thing, request.post.get and cost, and again that empty means it says that okay, if there is no cost in the form, don't give me any error. So then I'm creating that an object called the cost object. You can give any name here. What it is doing actually, basically the model we created here, the simple model, that is the model I am saying in my view that okay, get the date in a date field, and this cost in this cost field, and name as a cost object model. Then I am saying that okay, save that model. Here I am saving that data date and cost into the database. That's all. And then once that is saved, return to the job.cost. And then if there is any error, that form is not valid, not actually, if that there is an error that that request.method is not post, then it will go to an unbound form and no data would be saved. So this is just to some error handling. And here we are saying that okay, render this the template name is job.cost. This is the template where that's what we are using in this view. So that's all. So this is the view that is saving the data. So let's do that. Let's hit the submit button. I hit the submit button. What it did, it saved the data in my database. And just to show you that the data is available in database, you can verify by how you can verify is you have to go query your database and verify. I think my video is getting bigger, so I know how to I know you know possibly how to query the database. So I'm ending the video. Good luck if you want.